Hey everybody, we're finally following up on our video about the Dell Inspiron 5559. It's taken us a lot longer than we thought to make this video, partly because the first machine we bought was a dud. And by dud I mean we found that we had major issues with the hard disk. The hard disk would reach critical levels of usage without really being asked to do very much. So even in a stationary state, we saw that the hard disk was being utilized at close to 80-90+% for no good reason. So we coordinated with our client, we talked to them, we said, hey, we think this is an isolated issue. The machine itself should be fine. We'll go ahead and return this for you, get a new one. And the second machine we got worked perfectly well. So we're finally going to do the review. We unfortunately don't have the machine because we did hand it over due to a tighter timeline. This was, of course, after we customized it for them. And you can check out a couple of videos we did regarding the Windows parental controls features that someone requested. And you can see what we did for them, if that's a good solution for you down the road. It's been 2 weeks since we first did this whole process, and after getting to play around with it a little bit longer than we thought, I think we have some good insight into how this machine actually works. The first thing is that for a $500 machine, I think it's a good choice. I think that if you are purchasing it for a younger student, it's an excellent machine to begin with. The touch system was actually pretty good, not too bad for a lower end model. And the biggest problem is that it's not very portable. It's a bulky machine. It's about 5.3 pounds, I believe. So it's not great for a student who's taking it home and things like that, and back to school and such. But if you are just keeping it at home but want some mobility around, it's a great choice. The hardware is very good for anything that they'll do, and you don't have to worry too much about the software working well with everything like that. The weak point of the machine is still the hard disk though. Even in a perfectly functioning unit like the one that we did hand over, it seems to be very slow upon starting up. Right? It takes maybe 3 or 4 minutes for the hard disk to return to a normal state, and then after that it functions just like you'd imagine a higher end model doing so. So keep that in mind when you buy it, that those first couple minutes are standard, at least in our experience, and they shouldn't deter you away from the machine. I thought the pros were actually that the processor did really well. It seemed like nothing that we did to it really rattled off any processing applications, which was surprising considering it's only a 6200U and an i5 model. But, that's a good thing for us and we're really happy about it. The RAM also seemed to never be a problem. All memory aspects were pretty solid for the price that we had. What I would highly recommend is that if you are installing anything or if you're updating anything, please be patient with this machine just because it is a slightly lower tier computer. And we recommend doing one job at a time, or OJAT for short. So that is kind of the biggest thing where you don't want to give it too many things to do just because sometimes lower end processors, if the power drops or if it has to spread its resources too thin, it can screw things up basically. So be careful with that in the future. And aside from that, if you're interested in purchasing the machine, getting it customized, let us know. There's a price link below, which we can beat actually, if you happen to be interested. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Dislike if you didn't, but hopefully that's not the case. Feel free to comment with any questions you have or just comments about our video in general. We're trying to improve them. And finally, please subscribe if you think this kind of feed is going to be something you're interested in. And if you have a specific request and you subscribe, we'll be happy to do that video for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.